Hey trainers, Alakaham here with some more Pokemon video magic. I'm really grateful to my dad, Dude Dad 11, who turned me on to the idea of using Yveltal in the Ultra League. I had really only thought about using Yveltal in the Master League, but I caught one for the Ultra League because Dude Dad 11 suggested it, and that was a pretty good suggestion. So I sort of scrounged the internet for some ideas for how to put together an Yveltal team after that, and I got an idea from another streamer, Home Slice Henry, whose channel you should definitely check out if you like watching Go Battle videos. And he sort of showcased a team that had Swampert on the lead with Yveltal and then a fairy type in the back. He used Togekiss. I decided to go for Granbull. I do not have a Togekiss in Ultra League range, but I do have this Granbull that I'm really proud of that I was able to power up last season. So I'm really happy about that one. And we are well into the first battle, so you see that I kind of lost the lead in terms of the two shield situation. I decided to go ahead and shield up there because I wanted to be able to get this Crobat as low as I possibly could so that I could potentially come in and farm down with the Granbull. I think this is just a Poison Fang. It's still going to do a fair amount of damage because my defense was already dropped, but Granbull absolutely does not want to see a Poison type like Crobat. So I was actually able to feint it out. I was pleasantly surprised there. And I force the Typhlosion to throw its energy, so yeah, completely burnt there by the Typhlosion. But with all the switching around, I was able to keep enough energy to go ahead and get that close combat off from Granbull. And the Typhlosion only lost because it was stuck in the animation for Incinerate, so it would have had its next charge move at the end of that Incinerate, but fortunately the charm animation is a little faster, so that worked out pretty nicely. Okay, here we have the Swampert mirror match, and I'm always unsure about what to do here because there's a couple of possible strategies, and it always sort of depends on how people use shields, but I think in general just throwing the hydro cannons are the best possible strategy. I knew this could be an earthquake. A lot of people bait, but this person did not. They did a lot of damage there. But I do get to 2 hydro cannons before they get to an earthquake and a hydro cannon. So that means I am ahead on energy and I'm ahead on shields now. And it should just take one more hydro cannon to actually feint out the other Swampert, and they let it go. Then they bring in an Obstagoon. This is actually really great for us. It's unfortunate that I couldn't get to that last Hydro Cannon there. And now they've defeated our best answer to Melmetal, so that's not exactly great. You'll notice that Yveltal just tanked a super effective Rock Slide. So Yveltal is a thick bird, right? Just like Lugia. I mean, it doesn't quite have the same kind of health stats as Lugia, but it can take a lot of damage. Yveltal can definitely eat one of those rock slides and still be fine, and it does a lot of damage with those neutral dark pulses. So because Yveltal charges so fast, we are forcing this Melmetal to throw its energy, and it doesn't have anything that's going to be super strong against Granbull. The only problem is that Granbull is a little bit glassy, right? Fortunately, the Obstagoon is going to be weak to fighting type attacks, and dark moves are resisted. So just by getting to the close combat, we have more or less closed up this game. So our Bulldog takes out the Goon, and we can snag the win in the end there. So again, Yveltal coming in very, very strong, even against things that have super effective attacks against it. Dark types do so well in the Ultra League. That is really, I think, the league where they shine. So Swampert on the lead, this time against Giratina. Both of our other Pokemon are better answers to Giratina, so I just tried to kind of farm up, and then I switched into Yveltal. And I switched into Yveltal because it's going to have more offense against other things than Granbull, depending on what they switch in. And I was able to land that Dark Pulse. We did more than half of the Melmetal's health. And again, I can tank one Rock Slide and get to another Dark Pulse, which would be taking out the Melmetal. So now we're in a really great position. I can block once and get to the next Dark Pulse, which again will either faint out the Melmetal or it will take that final shield. So we'll see what they decide to do. They gave me the last shield. So that's great for me. I can come in with Swampert. I have a Hydro Cannon loaded, and that's going to be enough for the frog to take down the robot there. So down goes the robot, and in comes Giratina. I tried to make a swap. That probably was not the absolute best move, but that's all right. Also, I should have been counting those snarls, but I wasn't. Had I been counting them, I would have known that the Muck was not at a Sludge Wave. But in any case, one close combat is enough to take out the Muck, and that just leaves us against the Giratina. So we're in a bad place because our Granbull has been debuffed, but those charms are still doing massive damage. We already have the Giratina in the red zone, and I reach my charge move. So Crunch is definitely going to be enough to take out this Giratina. So the monster goes down to the Bulldog. I've been really happy with my little Bulldog's performance in this season. I built this Granbull last season, and I'm having a pretty great time with it. I can still boost its HP just a little bit, but I mean, overall, it's been doing fine. So, all right, so we come into a Togekiss, and this is pretty good because I want to see Togekiss up front instead of in the back. It's going to be a problem for Yveltal. Unfortunately for this trainer, seems like they had a little bit of a lag or a delay. It's a problem that a lot of people are talking about in the game. So that's unfortunate that they encountered that, but I think you'll see that it's still a fairly competitive game. They do pretty well. I decided to try and save the Swampert, and I came in and sniped with Granbull. I'm going to go ahead and let this come through because I generally don't shield Granbull unless I am just like right at the charge move. So I do get to the close combat. We'll see if they shield or not. And they do shield, so that's good for me. Gives us shield advantage. And you can see how much damage those charms are doing. Even resisted charms are going to chunk quite a bit of damage. I'm going to have to shield this because I don't want to get knocked out with a superpower. And now I can come in with Yveltal. I think Yveltal generally loses here because what's it called? The Goon there. Goonie has access to attacks besides dark type attacks. So if it's just running Night Slash, then it's no big deal. But if it has something like Cross Chop, it does beat the Yveltal because it charges a little faster. And I don't have any other moves on my Ultra League Yveltal. I do on the Master League version of the player, but not on the Ultra League. So I'm not going to use the shield here. I want that for Swampert. I did try and build up enough energy to try and fake the opponent into thinking that I might have Focus Blast, but it didn't quite work out that way. They called the bait, which is fine. I did have a lot of energy built up on Swampert, so I was able to finish off the Obstagoon, and then they don't bother shielding on the Melmetal. They knew that I was ahead on energy, and I was going to reach 2 Hydro Cannons before they reached 2 Rock Slides, and I'm not even sure that one of those Rock Slides, they only would have had one because of course I had a shield as well. I'm not sure that one Rock Slide would have actually fainted us out, so I think we had clutched the win there. Okay, in this round, coming up against the Metal Bug, Scissor, and Scissor does not do so great against Swampert, so they switched into their Giratina, which is great for us because we have two very good answers to Giratina, and I decided to throw in Yveltal. This particular Giratina had Ancient Power, so I didn't expect that. That's a pretty big move, and it's pretty rough on flying types. But again, Yveltal is thick. It can definitely take some damage, and no problem there, right? So I'm going to shield this up because it could be Ancient Power. It's just a Dragon Claw. They had built up two moves, so this one's definitely about to be Ancient Power. I shield this again because I know that Dark Pulse can feint them out, and they did a really nice catch onto their Obstagoon. So I need to build up a little more energy, then I'm going to switch over into Granbull, and Granbull is going to annihilate the Goon. Yeah, Night Slash is not going to do anything. All of these moves are going to be resisted, right? The only thing they can hope for is to try and get a boost to do a little more damage, and they're probably going to come in with the Scissor, and oh, I had the close combat, but I lost the charge move priority tie. So they had Iron Head to feint us out. That's unfortunate, but I had Hydro Cannon ready to go, which is going to bring them pretty close to being feinted out. That was a good switch on their part, but I decided to go ahead and sack Yveltal so that I could come in with the Swampert and use Earthquake to finish off the Giratina. Yeah, it comes just short, so I'm able to Mudshot down, and I knew that I would want Swampert instead of Yveltal at the end because Hydro Cannon is what I needed to close this game. So very well played to my opponent. That was a lot of fun. And this team went 5-0 the first time that I tried it, so I'm very happy with Yveltal in the Ultra League, and I hope that y'all get a chance to try it out there too.